At Cheltenham Secondary College, a proficient teacher explains how he organises a unit of work on filmmaking to engage and meet the diverse interests of his students.
The unit began from the very start of the semester, where we started working on the core basics of photography, composition and film techniques. We've run a number of exercises on employing lighting, mise-en-scene, framing, composition to actually tell a story. We've taken them through film analysis, and quite an in-depth film analysis where they've had to actually use the language, hopefully again employing those literacy skills, and employing media language in that context so they recognise it in professional film work, and they can hopefully then recognise and employ it in their own work. So what we've then done is now set up this group major production. So they now have the theoretical background, hopefully enough practical experience employing the theory to actually put that into a piece of 4-minute filmmaking. Don't worry just yet about how to actually format a script. In each class, what I'm going to try and do is do little mini workshops with each role. So when we get to the actual script writing part or the storyboarding part, I will teach the storyboard people how to do correct storyboarding. Lots of kids come to media studies with different expectations. Some kids come because they have an interest in film, some come because they have an interest in IT and multimedia, some have an interest in photography, some just have an interest in pop culture. It allows them to actually hone in on a particular area of the production. So if it's a student who wants to pursue photography, this unit allows them to take the role of the location designer, the poster designer, to improve on their Photoshop skills. If you're someone who enjoys the whole production experience and being a visionary driver of a particular idea, you're allowed to be the producer or you're allowed to be the camera operator. My week has a series of single 49-minute classes and then a big hour-and-a-half class at the end of the week. So we try to spend a few days discussing theory, a few short classes doing theory, and then allowing them that full hour and a half to experiment. So we try to mix up those activities, so every week they're sort of learning something and then doing it, learning something and then doing it, learning something and then doing it. So it's about sort of doing short, sharp activities to lead up to put it all together in a big sort of summative activity at the end. What we're starting today is your pre-production planning. As I said, this is probably the most important stage of your actual production. If you don't get it right in the first place, if you don't do all the planning, get everything in place, you're going to struggle for the rest of the production, and you're going to create a film you're not happy with. The way I can tell, and if it's been successful, and it's an idea I expressed to a number of groups today, that it's not so much the timing or perhaps the efficiency of their production. It's more to do with the fact that at the end of the production, they're happy with what they've created. They've created something that they intended to create, and they feel that the group individually contributed to the group, and the group worked cohesively at the end. So for me to tell at the end of the project whether or not the unit I've designed has made a difference is 6 complete films and 6 groups that are happy to actually show their work. Some groups were particularly happy with their work. However, I think a greater success was the ones that didn't work, or the ones that perhaps didn't produce the film that they wanted to, or the film that they intended to, were able to identify why it wasn't. They weren't happy with it, they didn't like it, they didn't like a certain element of it, and that once they were able to view the film in completion and identify where they went wrong, that in itself is as important as a successful film at the end.
How can you organise content in an extended teaching program in which all parts are related and coherent? Use knowledge of students' needs and interests to help select content in a teaching program, and select and organise content with attention to the effect on student learning of core concepts.